Okay, hello, let's get started. We're gonna be vibe coding together. We're gonna try and make a really simple website go live on Railway. The reason why I wanted to share this is because I have found as a vibe coder that the most difficult part of vibe coding is not getting the program up and running on my computer. It's actually letting other people use it as well. My first project that I made, I used Amazon Web Services. I used Lightsail. That was so difficult to set up. And even though I got it to work, it was just so painful. So I discovered that there's another product called Railway. It lets you run a program very easily. And so that's what we're going to use today. We're going to use Railway, and we're going to make a simple HTML page that just says hello world on it. And we're going to post that online on a URL for anyone to access and click on, just because the way that you get complicated things to work is by first releasing a super simple version of it. That's at least what I have found when vibe coding. It's really difficult to just code everything all at once. You need to instead code things bit by bit, not just so that you can make sure that every single component works well, but so that the rate of learning that you do when you are learning about how everything is set up and works and is put together is low enough for you to understand how things can go wrong and how you can fix them. So enough blabbering. First, what we're going to do is work on that HTML website that says hello world. So let's ask ChatGPT for that. Give me super simple HTML page that says hello world. Boom. Okay, now it's giving me code. Where do we save that code? We're going to save it we're going to open up a text file, but we're going to save it as an HTML file. And that will let us run it like a HTML file. So here, let's add a little exclamation mark. And then if I do file save, hello world, boom, boom, saved. So now when I go to my desktop and I click this, nope. See what I did wrong? I didn't change the extension at the end, which means that my computer would not see it as a HTML file. Now that I've changed it to an HTML file, boom, it shows up. Perfect. So now this is the equivalent of getting a program to run in your IDE, like PyCharm or VS Code. The problem is if I go onto my phone and I type in this URL, it's not going to work. Same with a colleague or friend of mine. If I sent this URL to someone else and they typed it in, it would not open up this HTML page, HTTP page. So the next step is to figure out how to get it such that someone else can click on a link and go here. And we're going to use Railway for that. Let's see, sign in. I guess I continue using GitHub. This is so annoying. I'm going to use Safari. Railway. Oh, looks like I have to pay for this soon. Anyway, new. I'm going to, let's try doing an empty project and see what happens. Okay, we're going to add a service. Empty service. Let's see. Deployment. This looks hard. I think we'll deploy from GitHub. Let's see. Nope. How do I go back? So the question is, how do we use this? You know what would be really ideal? If we could just drag that HTML file into Railway and then make it run. That would be like the ideal, but the next best thing is to figure out how to get this set up. So let's see. I think what we will do is we'll connect to a GitHub repo. GitHub is like a combination of Google Drive and Google Docs for code files. So we're just going to drag and drop our HTML file into this repo. Let's see, what should we call it? Stunning System. Thank you, GitHub. Choose visibility. Let's make it private for now, but also probably because when we're making GitHub repos in the future, you're probably not going to want to share your code with others. Okay, great. We've created it. Now, how do we add files to this? Upload an existing file. Great. Now I can drag and drop helloworld.html into here. Good. So now we're uploading this file onto GitHub, and this lets me access it from Railway. Okay, so I can see it here. This is the file. The code is exactly how I left it. Boom. Okay, so now we're going to go back to Railway, and we'll connect our repo to this, and we'll see if I can connect to the one I just made. What was it called? Stunning System for YouTube. There we go. Save. I think that worked. No, I have no proof that it worked. It didn't even show up here. Okay, never mind. Let's try again from scratch. New project, deploy from GitHub repo, configure GitHub app, EF3N, yes, yes. Okay, so it's not a GitHub thing. It's not a GitHub thing because I cannot give it any more permissions than it already has, and it already has access to my existing repositories. So it has to be something with the way I have set things up in Railway. And I think what needs to happen is there's a file missing that I have to add. So now I would go back to ChatGPT and say, I'm trying to make this file that I've now saved go live on Railway. I've uploaded it to GitHub repo. What else do I need to do to make this MVP run live so that a friend of mine can click on link and access this wonderful site? Boom. Okay. And ChatGPT 5 came out yesterday, I think. So it takes longer to answer. And hopefully it does well. No, I don't want... Oh, wait, hold on. Okay. This is kind of confusing. I don't... Oh, I see. So things just got more complicated. What it's saying is that we need to spin up a server that serves this file. And that's what Node does, and that's also what Nginx does. which is kind of annoying. So I don't want to use Node because I'm not used to using it. I've never used it before. Let's try doing it with Python. Actually, can you give me bare minimum MVP, but using a Python library, but using Flask. So Flask is the name of a lightweight Python library that lets you spin up servers. Boom. Okay, great. So now it's told us what files we need to add. So we're going to add these files. Let's see. I'll use a notepad once again. Okay. app.py. And notice again that I'm changing the name, the extension of the file. And this is a really bad habit. I'm putting all of these files into my desktop. Usually when you're creating a project using an IDE like PyCharm, it creates a new file folder for you into which all of the individual Python files and all of that go. So, this is a bad habit, but I'm trying to move quickly here. So I've saved that. This is a file, requirements.txt. Sometimes when you're running a program, all of the functions that you're trying to run are built into Python, so you don't need to install anything further. Kind of like on your computer, there is already a calculator built in. You don't need to install a calculator by going to the App Store or installing software. And then there are other things where you do need to install it, even for your program, because without that, you cannot run the program that you want to run. You just need to pull in that help. Just like you would install extra software to do extra things. So this requirements.txt file tells your program, oh, we need version 3.0.3 of Flask to be installed, and we need GUnicorn to be installed as well. That's what this file does. It's .txt. So that's saved. And then proc file. This was really interesting. Apparently a proc file is something that you have to have in Railway for it to run properly, for it to run, period. If you don't have this proc file, it will not run. What a proc file does is basically jumpstart your program, because you can have this, you can have Hello World, you can have all of that, but if there's nothing to command it to do anything, nothing will happen. When you're in PyCharm or an IDE and you want to run a program, you just do, you have a command that you have to type in that'll then make it run, or you press a button, the play button, that makes it run. And so the proc file is the equivalent of that in Railway. So let's see. How do I make a, so my next question is, how do I make a proc file? Because it doesn't have a, an extension here. What's the extension of the proc file? Should be. Okay, I guess it should have literally no extension. File, save, proc file, no extension. As you wish. Remove that. Oof. No. There. Okay. Nice. We come back to GitHub. Now we're going to upload those files. Desktop, my best friend, click and drag. Ah, you notice one that's missing? I do. It is the proc file. The proc file is gone. I'm going to turn my volume up a bit. So where did the proc file go? Let's try making it again. Oh, there it is. Okay, so it's in desktop. I wonder if it's not showing up because it's a hidden file. Nope, I just didn't look in the right folder. Upload file. Drag and drop. Boom. Now we're uploading it. Good. Okay, so all 4 of the files that we need are there. Now we're going to come back here. Let's see if we can. Option 1, deploying for GitHub. Dashboard, new. Okay, so we just need to create a new project. Okay, fine. That's fine. We can do that. New, deploy from GitHub repo. Stunning system, once again. What does it say? Can we do it before you dismiss this toast? Boom. Okay, fine. So it's running. It's automatically setting things up. It's taking a couple of seconds, actually. I'm surprised. The last time I tried to do this, it was already ready. In the meantime, let's look at our code and really study it. So we have this. It's very straightforward. What is app.py? This implements Flask. You know, one thing I'm curious about is what it is that this does, because this kind of makes it seem like the app itself is the one that is causing Hello World to show up, where I actually want Hello World to be the source. So I guess we can test this by changing the text in the file, in the HTML file. We can say goodbye world and leave this as hello world, so that if we go to our website and the website says goodbye world, we'll know it's working correctly and pulling from the HTML file. But if it says hello world, we'll know that it's running incorrectly and it's pulling from this Python file. So how do we change that? We go to GitHub, and here's where it's nice because you can actually just edit code in GitHub by clicking edit, and then we'll change this to goodbye. That's kind of depressing. Or not depressing, it's, you know, sketchy. So we'll say peace to all. Nice. Boom. Boom. Sure. Good. Okay, so now we've updated this HTML file. When I check it again, I can see it no longer says hello world. So now when Railway finishes running, which it looks like it has, we will know that we'll know what's running. So I'm just going to open up an incognito tab, click run, and it says hello world, which means that it did not work properly. If I were to come back to now, you know, so we have to fix that obviously, but one question I have is, how long does it take for an update to this Python file to be reflected on the site? Maybe it's instantaneous. Maybe it's something that needs some manual pushing. So I'm curious. So let me go back to Railway here. And by the way, the URL to this website just shows up at the top. So if I open up another incognito tab, you can see that this works. And if you were to go on your phone right now, I'll leave this on for a couple of weeks. If you were to go on your phone right now and look at this, you will see the exact same thing. You'll see hello world. I mean, maybe not, because in a few seconds we're going to try changing this, but you'll see that the website is live. Okay, so what are we going to try and do? We're going to try and change the words in the Python file and see what happens on the website. So we go to app.py, we click on, where's the edit button here? How's it going, world? Commit changes. Commit changes. Yes. Okay. Let's see. I don't see anything changing just yet. Let's go back to Railway. Okay, it's already updating because it says building here. So I think it's just going to update automatically. Wow, that is quick. Wow, it even tells you how many seconds it took for each one of these steps. The first time took 32 seconds, so yeah, we're getting pretty close. Let's see. If I click refresh, what happens? Still nothing. Okay, let's see. Almost done. There we are. So if I click run, it changed. Okay, so now we know that it's pulling this hello world or how's it going world from the Python file on GitHub and that it updates automatically. But this isn't what we want. We don't want the app to define what the contents of the website is, the contents are. We want the app to pull from the HTML file. Yeah, the HTML file. So now we're going to go back to my friend ChatGPT and say, thanks, dude, that worked. But I noticed that it's publishing the content from app.py rather than from the file I have in my GitHub repo. HTTP. It's because I'm studying HTTP stuff right now, and it just keeps popping up. How do I called hello world HTML? How do I modify app.py to pull in from hello world? Instead. Good. Okay, that's that. Now we run this. It's just telling us how the files should appear in the folder. We already have this, so no need to worry there. Now we have to change the Python file from what was there before to this. OS is the name of a library that lets you pull in stuff from your computer. So we got the code. I'm just looking at this. You know, this looks neater. It also uses less code, so I think we should go with this option rather than this option. Yeah, the only thing about this is that this I can copy the entire thing and paste it into GitHub myself all at once and it'll run. But this, you have to go in and do surgery. You can't just copy paste it. So it's a bit annoying that way. We'll go back here, we'll click edit. And what does it look like again? App.get from home. Okay, so we're going to replace this section with this. And one note that it said was that should not have written the name of that HTML file the way that I did with a space. So we're just gonna keep this as is and change the name of the HTML file to hello_world. One annoying thing is that this will probably trigger Railway to redeploy, which I hope doesn't take up more of my tokens, but that's okay. Okay, 490, update, discard, sure. Stunning system, let's go back here. How do I edit hello world? There we go. Boom. Boom, commit changes, discard. Let's go. Wow, so it literally starts two processes. This one's the most recent, this one's the second most recent. I think I'm gonna abort the last one. Let's hope that that doesn't break anything. And if it does, then I'm screwed. I'm not screwed. We'll figure it out, but it'll just be a bit more annoying. Close this. So while that's loading, I thought it might be worthwhile to somewhat explain what's going on. App.py is the program that runs hello_world. Hello_world is a file that tells the browser what to publish, and then this proc file tells run Railway to actually run app.py, and it does so by running this function here, I think. Let me double check what's in the proc file. Yeah, so this is a command. If we were running this locally, I think I would just type this in. So what does it mean to run something locally? It means it would be the equivalent of, double clicking this and making it show up. So I'm going to go to my desktop and I'm going to try running this same command and we'll see what happens. It didn't work. Never mind. We'll look at that another day. So now so it's finished deploying. We're going to try running it one more time. Yep, I guess it did. It didn't work. I think it didn't work because I aborted that other one. I think. We shall see. I'll double check the names of the files. hello_world app.py, hello_world. It looks good to me. Let's see, what if I open this in here? No. And if this doesn't work, I'm guessing it's because the code that we copied probably was not copied correctly. Oh, you know what? I think I know why. It's because this probably was not imported, or it was not imported correctly. Let me double check. So at the top of every coding file, there's usually a line that says import this, import that. Yeah, this is it. This is why it didn't run. So Flask, for example, is used here, but if I had removed this line, this would never run. like it would just return an error because we're calling to something that doesn't exist. Same with render template. This is what we added recently. It wasn't running because we never imported render template. But now that I've pasted in this line, it should run. So it said deployment successful, but it'll still not work because it hasn't deployed that extra line that I just added at the top. So after this, it should work. I really hope it will. Because if not, I'll have run out of ideas. Enter. Enter. Oop. Okay, 10 seconds away. Boom. Let's try it. That is not nice. Okay, I am tired of being betrayed. I've been betrayed. So we're going to go back to to our Python file in GitHub, and we're just going to get rid of this code here and change the name again. And we'll see if this runs. I think I probably should have read what it told me. So why send file? What is send file? Render template. What is it talking about? Oh. I figured it out. So this will work. I'm pretty sure it hasn't deployed yet. So what I missed is that it said that the HTML file needs to be in a folder called render_template. And because I did not set up a folder like that, it didn't find the HTML file because I never made the folder. So let's see if this works. So that's why it didn't work at first. Now we have this weird issue where the header does not show up, but the body of the HTML file does. Oh, I know why. Well, maybe. Let's see. It should have said peace to all rather than just nice, but nice is the only thing that shows up. So why would this? Let me ask my friend ChatGPT. Boom. Ah, I see. Yeah, peace to all shows up there. My bad. It's been like 9 years since I took my first HTML course. Good. Okay, so we got this to run. We got it to run. The way that we did it was we made a super simple HTML page. We made a super simple Flask program. We made a super simple Python program that used Flask to make that HTML page live. And then we used Railway to make the server that we spun up locally on Railway from GitHub something that anyone on the internet could access. So now if you type in this domain, you should be able to access this too. Speaking of that, let's see if we're able to change this domain to be something more friendly. Wow, ha ha ha, it's available. friendlytest.up.railway.app. If you go to this website, you should be able to see this. I might change this to say something else, but I think I'll keep this up for until the end of August. Yeah. Good. All right. Thank you so much for watching. Please leave any questions in the comments below or feedback, and we will chat again one day soon.